You ever want to just disappear into your own hat? Let's talk about Preston the Vanisher. How do we win? Man, there's been a lot of buzz and discussion on this little guy. He's a rabbit. He's literally pulling himself out of his own hat, which is a trick you can only do once because of all the medical bills. Plus there's the meme value. He's a rabbit. There are only a few of these in the game, about 7, and 2 of them are muscly abominations that are pretty unplayable. Alright, I'm going to read this card, but first let's take a minute to like this video. I know this is only the first 30 seconds or so, but maybe just hit it now, okay? If you end up hating the video later, then just unhit it. You can just unhit it. That action is reversible. Also, YouTube tells me you probably aren't even subscribed, so take 2 seconds to do that, because I'm going to put out more videos. What you going to do, search the whole internet? Just wait until the ether tells you that I put out a video? No, you got to subscribe, and the dang thing will let you know, brother. Alright, we got Preston the Vanisher, 3 and a white for a legendary creature, Rabbit Wizard. It's a 2/5. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't cast, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a 0/1 white illusion. Also has 1 and a white, sacrifice 5 illusions, exile target non-land permanent. Alright, all jokes aside here, Preston's got some sweet art. I like that he's a person, but he's also a bunny. I've often looked at the little rabbit who lives under my shed and thought, man, I wish that was a person as well. Then I could legally have him evicted. This token creation is a really good effect. Creating token copies of cards for free is rad. It just happens. You don't have to tap, you don't have to pump any mana into it. The caveat is that they can't be cast. It's a little perplexing at first. What does that mean? Well, it means if they're flickered or blinked or reanimated somehow, then we get to create a copy. So this guy's mono white, which leaves us at a relative dearth of win conditions. White weenies are good in other formats, kind of. Even if we efficiently create an army of 20 tokens or so, we still have to bust through everyone's life total. We don't really have any Voltron synergy here either, which kind of led me to think about combo for this little fool. Okay, we're mono white. We have a relatively few tutors to combo up combo pieces, but we do have a ton of little creatures that draw cards on ETB and lots of ways to flicker them, thereby, drawing lots of cards. Let's start there with these little draw creatures. Alright, you got your wall of omens. This is a wall, but it's got some omens. So, you draw a card. You got Priest of Ancient Lore. He's got the hammer. It's also got some omens right on the hammer, dude. Draw a card. Got Sky Scanner. He's scanning up in the sky. Well, there's an omen in the sky, so you know what? Draw a card. You got Roving Harper. She's just ambulating about the countryside. Get that cardio in, draw a card. Combat Thresher. Probably the most inefficient way to fight a war with some chains on a cylinder that spins around. It's got double strike, draw a card. You got Inspiring Overseer, flying up there in the sky, looking down on the mortals, just yelling at pedestrians, hey buddy, draw a card. You got Spirited Companion, he's a happy dog, that makes sense. Draw a card. Then of course we have Welcoming Vampire. The cool thing about this card is if we blink it, create a copy with Preston, then they see each other and can draw 2 cards. And of course you have a Rumor Gatherer. I've talked about this card several times, so it must be pretty okay. So while we do have limited tutors, we can pack in a few cheaper ones like Idyllic Tutor. Idyllic Tutor is 2 and a white for a sorcery. Search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Not as good as Enlightened Tutor, but that's $50 or so. If you have one, then that can be a key to tutor up sacrifice outlets. We also have Moonblessed Cleric. So this is 2 and a white for a creature, human elf cleric. It's a 3/2. It has Divine Intervention. When Moonblessed Cleric enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, then shuffle and put that card on top. This is a massively underrated $1 card. This can get us one of our combo pieces. Alright, so there's a couple key enchantments and artifacts that are pure value even outside of a combo. As you'll see, we want to flicker in and out our value creatures, so we have cards like Blessed Sanctuary, 3 white for an enchantment. Prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to you and creatures you control. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, create a 2/2 white unicorn creature token. If we are infinitely blinking creatures in and out, which is the goal, this provides us a win condition. It's going to be a field full of spectral unicorns just spearing our enemies with their horns, dude, drinking their blood and moving with an eerie, silent, coordinated attack. That's what unicorns are known for. They're really quite terrifying, bloodthirsty creatures. And we also have Cathaz Crusade, 3 white for an enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. There they are, dude. There's the Cathars. They're riding the unicorns. They're crusading. If we're blinking creatures in and out, then we eventually get huge creatures that can bang in and hopefully win. Alright, so let's talk combo pieces. First we have Felidar Guardian, 3 and a white for a creature cat beast. It's a 1/4. Whenever Felidar Guardian enters the battlefield, you may exile another target permanent you controlled and return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Cool, so this thing enters, it blinks something, we make a token copy of that something with Preston. Great, that's Value Town. But what if we blink Felidar Guardian with Preston out? Then we get 2 triggers. The original enters and blinks a Plains, the copy enters and blinks the original Felidar Guardian. Oops, 2 more triggers. Then I mean, come on, you gotta figure it out, buddy. That's how you win. And we got Wispweaver Angel. This is a redundant piece for Felidar Guardian. It's 4 white for a creature angel. It's a 4/4 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile another target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. What the heck is she doing weaving the wisp? She's got a cool hat though. Gotta remember, this is only for creatures, so you can't be blinking planes and stuff like that. You got Restoration Angel. She's out there restoring classic cars. 3 and a white for a creature angel. It's a 3/4 with flash and flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-angel creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. So you can't blink the original angel with the copy, so this needs some more pieces. Icewind Stalwart, 3 and a white for a Tiefling Warrior creature. It's a 3/3. Protection Fighting Style. When Icewind Stalwart enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target non-warrior creature you control, and then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Flavor text is quick. Crawl up my butt and you'll end up in another dimension for a minute and then come back. That should be the flavor text. This guy is not even as good as Restoration Angel because he doesn't even have flash, but it's a pretty decent card. Okay, so it looks like there's only a few redundant pieces for Felidar Guardian, but they combo with cards like Lumbering Battlement. 4 and a white for a creature beast. It's a 4/5 with vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-token creatures you control until it leaves the battlefield. Lumbering Battlement gets +2/+2 for each card exiled with it. So with Preston out, say we cast this guy exiling Felidar Guardian. Then we blink it with one of our 15 blink effects. It comes back, Felidar Guardian comes back, we create tokens of both, then resolve our triggers. Gets to be kind of a headache, honestly, but we can blink and re-blink them infinitely. So what are some redundant pieces for Lumbering Battlement? You got Glorious Protector, 2 white for a creature angel cleric. It's a 3/4 with flash and flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile any number of non-angel creatures you control until Glorious Protector leaves the battlefield. It has Foretell for 2 and a white. You have to be a little careful because the token cannot exile the original due to the non-angel clause. This still combos with Felidar Guardian and some of the other pieces though. Then you got Abdel Adrian Gorian's Ward. Got to fit in every vowel sound in this guy's name. It's 4 and a white for a legendary creature, human warrior. It's a 4/4. When Abdel enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-land permanents you control until Abdel leaves the battlefield. Create a 1/1 white soldier creature token for each permanent exiled this way. This guy's legendary, so remember that. Still works though. Even though the token Preston creates is immediately sacrificed, his ETB goes off and then dies, blinking whatever you want. Abdel Adrian also has this non-land permanent tech, so you can exile a little old card we remember from the Elden days. And that card is Parallax Wave. Love the art on this thing. 2 white for an enchantment. It has Fading 5. This enchantment enters the battlefield with 5 fade counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a fade counter from it if you can't sacrifice it. So you remove a fade counter from Parallax Wave, exile target creature. When it leaves the battlefield, each player returns to the battlefield all cards they own exiled with Parallax Wave. Sorry, I tripped over that a little bit. This card is so cool, even if it's just a one-off to exile 5 of your things and then return them from value. It's worth noting though that it also combos with Leonin Relic Warder. Alright, Leonin Relic Warder is white for a creature cat cleric. It's a 2/2. Look at him over there, he's just hiding his little cup. When he enters the battlefield, you may exile target artifact or enchantment. When he leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So you can reset Parallax Wave and get your fun on again and again. So think about this. Abdel Adrian enters the battlefield, exiling Leonin Relic Warder until Abdel Adrian leaves the battlefield, creating a 1/1 soldier creature token. Leonin Relic Warder leaves the battlefield, triggering its second ability, returning the Parallax Wave from exile to the battlefield. Activate Parallax Wave by removing a fade counter from it, exiling Abdel Adrian. Abdel Adrian leaves the battlefield, returning Leonin Relic Warder from exile to the battlefield. Leonin Relic Warder enters the battlefield, triggering its first ability, exiling Parallax Wave. Parallax Wave leaves the battlefield, returning Abdel Adrian from exile to the battlefield. Repeat from step 2. This doesn't even need Preston on the battlefield, but if Preston is on the battlefield, you're getting token copies of Abdel and Leonin Relic Warder each time they enter. Alright, moving on from Blink, we have some recursion combos. Ever hear of the Sun Titan, dude? It's 4 white for a creature. It's a giant 6/6 with vigilance. Whenever Sun Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, you may return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. This guy's a blazing sun that never sets. We all know that. Well, we want some way to sacrifice Sun Titan and bring him back. We got Angelic Renewal, 1 and a white for an enchantment. Whenever a creature is put in your graveyard from the battlefield, you may sacrifice Angelic Renewal. If you do, return that card to the battlefield. This is fetchable by our enchantment tutors. Pretty cool card. So let's say we sacrifice Sun Titan to Ashnod's Altar or something like that, making 2 colorless. We then sacrifice Angelic Renewal, bringing back Sun Titan. Sun Titan's trigger resolved, we can bring back Angelic Renewal from the yard. Sacrifice him again for infinite mana, infinite ETB. If Preston's out, infinite Sun Titan copies, dude. Similarly, we can use Fiend Hunter. It's 1 white for a creature, human cleric, it's a 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile another target creature. When Fiend Hunter leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So we can use this guy to exile Sun Titan, then sacrifice Fiend Hunter to Ashnod's Altar or whatever to bring Sun Titan back. Then it sees Fiend Hunter in the yard, then uses its mighty paws to lift him up, dude. So the Fiend Hunter feels the sun and lives again, brother. Then it ETBs and exiles Sun Titan. Rinse and repeat. Again, with Preston out, we get infinite Sun Titans, and that's pretty good. And don't forget about Altar of Dementia. So if you have Altar of Dementia out, you can use that as your sacrifice outlet and just mill everybody out with this same combo. We also have a nifty little free sacrifice outlet called Fanatical Devotion. 2 and a white for an enchantment. Sacrifice a creature, regenerate target creature. Or we also got Nim Deathmantle in here, because this combos with Ashnod's Altar and any creature that comes with a buddy, or any creature that gets a Preston token copy. So you got Nim Deathmantle, 2 generic mana for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has Intimidate, and is a black zombie. Whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 4. If you do, return that card to the battlefield and attach Nim Deathmantle to it, has equipped for 4. If Preston is out, we can activate this once and we can sacrifice the creature and his Preston token, creating 4 colorless mana from Ashnod's Altar and bringing it back, netting infinite ETB. There's a couple other combos in here. You got the classic Revel Yark Karmic Guide combo. These are fantastic cards to blink just by themselves, especially if we have sacrifice outlets, which we do in this deck. So currently Preston is about $16, so I put together a $60 budget list not including him. You can get every other card in the deck for that and build a nice little Preston combo engine that runs well and can usually combo out by turn 7 or 8. Make no mistake, this isn't CEDH, but it's powerful, it's fun, it requires real concentration and a pretty good understanding of the stack. So listen, live a little buddies out there, enjoy your life for gosh sakes. Sneaky G from Better Commander signing off.